The fourth and final stage for Teresa of Avila is the marriage itself. Now, I had a professor in graduate school who was a Lebanese biblical instructor, and he used to always, stand up in front of the class. And the first day, he was very intimidating, very smart guy, written many, many books. And someone would raise their hand, and he would say, "Are you married?" And inevitably, the person was not. And he would say, "You know nothing about anything. You will stay silent the rest of the class. You are not allowed to ask any questions because you don't even understand the beginning of life." And then inevitably the course would go on, and someone raised their hand who was married, knowing how he'd respond, said, "Are you married?" And the person would say, "Yes, I am." "How many kids do you have?" None." "You know about this much of absolutely nothing. You get 2 questions in the quarter." Anyhow, what Tarasi was trying to say is that marriage is something qualitatively different than other kinds of relationships. Unless you have it, you really don't understand the depths. And I think this is what Teresa of Avila is trying to say. The mystical marriage, like the human marriage, is something that transcends really love. It transcends merely emotions. It transcends merely partnership. It is something that moves beyond all those things. It's not the giddiness of the honeymoon, but it's somewhat deeper. Listen to how she describes it. We might say that the union is as if the ends of 2 wax candles were joined, so the light they give is one. The wicks and the wax and the light are one, yet afterwards the one candle can be perfectly well separated from the other, and the candle becomes 2 again, or the wick may be withdrawn from the wax. But here is like rain falling from the heavens into a river or a spring. There is nothing but water there, and it is impossible to divide or separate the water belonging to the river from which fell from the heavens. Or it is as if a tiny streamlet enters the sea from which it will find no way of separating itself, or as if a room where there are 2 large windows through which light streamed in, it enters in different places, but all becomes one. This is the point. It's a complete union transformed by love to even move beyond it. And God has already exampled that communion in God's 3 forms for Christianity: Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And so for Teresa, the extraordinary part of life is when you come to enter in to that union. And so much like human marriage, there's a fusion of lives. However, you're not dealing with equals like you are in marriage, hopefully, but rather the marriage transforms the individual to merge with the divine above. And so the mystical path of marriage begins with infatuation or falling in love. Then it moves to the exchange of gifts, which is often sort of self-sacrifice. Then you have betrothal. This is the honeymoon phase. And then finally, mystical marriage, which is the deepness of love. That's the 4 stages. Teresa's friend and disciple, St. John the Cross, throws an interesting wrench into this, as we see below.